Hi, this is Rani Ahmed. This is lesson 1 in TCL Rivet Server Side Scripting and for the web. This is tutorial lesson 1. This is an introduction. Please note before anything or before I start in this series of tutorials that we won't be teaching how to write in TCL, the basic language. I'm not going to teach this language from the start. If you want to learn it, and if you don't know TCL at all, please look up in Google Play for TCL tutorials, TCL over TK tutorials. Okay, is the page of the app on Android, and also there is a free version and there is a full version. The full version has 36 videos. The free version has only 3 videos. Okay, and those are for free. You can watch them anytime you want. Now, the full version is for $10. Now let's go back to the lesson. Now here in this introduction, I'm going to tell you how the servers, or how we communicate with the server, okay, and how we save the data, okay, that we send from our browser, from our web browser like Opera or Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer, to a database or whatever else. Okay, now first of all, we must know what's get and post data. Okay, those are the data or the methods of sending data in through a browser to a web server, which has at the back a database server. Okay, and the database server can usually it does not have to be a MySQL or an Oracle or an SQLite server databases. Okay, and the web servers are usually Apache or IIS. Apache is the open source web server, free. It takes over like 60% of the world web servers nowadays. And IIS is Microsoft's web server. It comes with Microsoft's Windows Server 2003 or 2000 whatever. And when we send the data through get and post, okay, they must first let's say what's get and post. Get and post is like when you have an address. Let's say I zoomed some of the addresses. For example, the one which we had from the tutorials about in the Android Play Store. So this is the address of Play Store. Okay, so they have this query string. So this query string has some variables here. This is Q for query. This is what you search for, and this is C for category, and this is apps, which means the category is C, saved in a variable named C, and then this is the category. Okay, now this way of sending, where you can see the variables after the question mark, okay, in the address bar here, in the address space here. This is called get method. Okay, now if you go through a form where you don't see the query string after you press submit, okay, like this, and you see just a normal link without any question mark, without any variables, this is called post. Okay, so this way is called get, and without it, like this, and imagining that you have sent data, it's called post. Okay. Now, so when I send the data, now I passed here, of course, this step. Now the data reaches the web server. Now the web server has to know what to do with this data. So through its configuration, it will look at the extension of the file. Now, as long as they're dealing with Rivet files has to be .rvt. For example, and if I send some data, it is sent through get. So I'm sending them to index.rvt. Okay, so it checks if this file is an RVT file. So this file will swallow and digest the get data. Okay, and because it's an RVT, the Apache will call a module or a CGI, okay, a way of interpreting the script inside, which is of course a TCL script. Now let's say the TCL script has to call a database server, so it would save the some data to be saved. Or for example some query for session or whatever. Okay, so at this moment it calculates the script, goes to the database server, for example, or maybe a file, or maybe calling some other device. Okay, and then I get the data from that database server and goes back to the web server, but it goes back where all things like HTML and JavaScript are printed out to the browser. Okay, while you don't see anything called Rivet if you, for example, wanted to see the source code of this page in HTML and JavaScript. So if I say like this view page source in here by right clicking. Okay, so this is all JavaScript and HTML, so it will be printed out. And see, if you notice that every time you search something you get something different, but you have one skeleton of the page. So this is what TCL and Rivet does for us. So I get back HTML and JavaScript, and the JavaScript will be automatically on the browser side interpreted for the client. Here JavaScript at this step will not be interpreted, of course, as anything. It's just simple text to the Rivet. It will be printed out just normally. Okay, and of course here the printing out will be using the command puts in of TCL. Now, what's a modular way and what's the CGI way? The CGI way is the way you configure the web server in a way that it calls the executable of TCL. Okay, so in every time it will interpret the whole script as a TCL script. Okay, and the output will be, as I said, from whatever the kind of text that will come out from this calculation of by TCL to the web browser as is. Okay, so but as you notice, every time I call the script, it will call the executable of the interpreter, of course. So this means that I have so many instances and so many copies that will bloat the RAM of the web server. So this is the drawback of using a CGI method. It's available, you can use it, but us here in this tutorial are not going to use this method. We're going to use the method of modular way. Okay, by which you have on every call of the script a separate thread, okay, which will call one interpreter one time only. So I mean, like, you have just one interpreter running, and the interpreter will take from different executions that coming from different threads. So just it's as if you have just one point of interpretation. You don't have so many points of interpretations, much like the case of CGI. And at the end, you will get the results. So that's all about the TCL and Rivet and what do they do. Okay, and I hope you liked this lesson. Please subscribe. Okay, thanks.